Hi guys, Raw Canvas, what's up? So, this is going to be a video on a book that I recently got. I haven't read it yet, but I got it and I was very excited to read it because I was like, okay, this is cool. I don't often read books about art or anything like that. I do look at like interior design stuff every now and then, like magazines and things like that. Monocle's like the only design magazine that I'm really like getting it right now. I used to be a lot more into design and stuff like that and looking at art and things like that. It had to have pictures in it, but it would be those really thick like interior design books, and it would talk about like process, or it would talk about like the space that someone's created, the goals and ideas that they were going for, and like what went on the back end of their design. So I was particularly interested in interior design because I really just liked it. But in recent years, I haven't really read a lot for design. And then when I went to my MFA creative writing program, it was more like creative writing because I do poetry. So I wasn't into it. So I went to Barnes & Noble recently. I still get my monocle and stuff like that. But I went to the art section because I was thinking about creating some more artwork and came across just went in there, started flipping through the books, and came across this book that I'm going to show you. And I'm just going to talk about, creating and things like that. Very short video. So the book I got is Art and Fear, Observation on the Perils and Rewards of Art Making by David Bales and Ted Orland. Hopefully it's Bales. So I got this book, fairly cheap, $12.95. And I think I just wanted one because I am leaving my MFA creative writing program, and I'm also going to be in the space where like I'm not in school, at least for a while. I think at least a year, and then I decide if I'm going back to school and what program and stuff like that. But I decided to like get books and start get books that deal with like craft and deal with like your emotional, psychological makeup as a creative like writer, visual artist, etc. I think it's really important, especially because in the MFA setting or just like the university setting, you have a lot of support generally. And what I mean by that is you have a lot of people around you who are also creating at the same time, right? They're running parallel to you. You have people who are advisors and teachers. Sometimes you have like internships, mentors. You have a lot more guidance, and that's kind of built in to your system. Like you're generally paying for it too, but like it's built in and the ecosystem is like there. And when you graduate, it shifts like dramatically. Generally, like you're not keeping in contact with your cohort as much. You're not necessarily keeping in contact with your professors. Like, you care, but you don't have that semester, trimester like structure, and you don't have that like weekly, quarterly, like I said, quarterly, semester, trimester, like meetups and check-ins and assignments and stuff like that keep you on track. Like you're gonna have to keep yourself on track. And that was one of the things that in my program, my professor for the poetry track was like very big on just making sure that you had enough skill sets to sustain you when you leave. Like, of course, you'll grow and develop and hopefully meet up with new people and find your own like kind of group and stuff like that. But when you like graduate, it can feel like a really huge drop off because of that support system no longer being there. So I wanted to kind of get these some books starting with visual and writing, just like basic books to kind of start that process of really getting in my mind that this is like done and moving forward and graduating and having all that fun stuff happen. So I've never heard of these two people a day in my life, so I can't really tell you about them, and I didn't do any really real research about it. But so it says Art and Fear, or Survival Guide. What is your art really about? Where is it going? What stands in the way of getting it there? These are questions that matter, questions that recur at each stage of artistic development, and they are the source of this volume of wonderfully incisive commentary. Art and Fear explores the way art gets made, the reasons it doesn't get made, and the nature of the difficulties that cause so many artists to give up along the way. This is a book about what it feels like to sit in your studio or classroom at your wheel or keyboard, easel or camera, trying to do the work you need to do. It is about committing your future to your own hands, placing free will above predestination, choice above chance. It is about finding your work. And I find that the last, like, second to last sentence really is true in the creative space, because most of us, it seems like we're running off of like inspiration, or we're running off of like some sort of spark that doesn't sustain you. You need actual systems in place, and you need to be consistent and productive to move the needle forward. And one of the things that can happen as my life is, when I lose momentum, I emotionally feel really stuck and lost. I can get very maybe resentful, bitchy, stuff like that. But you need periods of rest. But periods of rest when it comes to creative, like exploration, versus just stagnation or procrastination, or just, just quitting altogether. They're very different, and they feel very different within like your mental space body. It feels very different. And so I'm very excited to see what they have to say, because not only do I do visual art, I write as well, and I have a separate channel for that. So I am interested in how this is going to like help me in both of those spaces and whatever other creative space that I decide to do. So we'll probably, like, this will be like one of the few books I think that I'll read for this channel to talk about it, and maybe I'll do a chapter by chapter kind of thing. So got this book, we'll see how it goes. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.